Hi, welcome to my channel. My name is Gail and this is Real Life and Keto. And it's been a while since I've done a video. The last video I recorded was letting you all know that my husband had passed away. Tomorrow it will be 9 weeks since he earned his wings and took off on his next chapter to explore the galaxy and universe and all the unknowns out there to the rest of us. And just kind of wanted to touch base and let you know I haven't forgotten you all. It's a little difficult doing these videos just because I have good days and I have bad days, and you know, there's struggling. I went back to work April 30th. So yeah, he passed away April 2nd. I went back to work 3 weeks later, back to the clinic where I had been working, and that's going all right. Most of the time I try to keep a positive attitude, and you know, you try to just do what needs to be done, and one step at a time and one step forward. And it's you know, nothing like you can imagine unless you've actually gone through it. Definitely different than when I lost my mom the year before. You know, losing a parent is terrible. And I wasn't really done grieving losing her when we got the diagnosis for my husband. And then suddenly I became a caregiver, full-time caregiver for him during the last 4.5 months of his life. And, you know, for those of you who are close to me and you know the firsthand story, none of this is new. For those of you who just started following me, this is, you know, just kind of an update. As far as keto goes, I'm keto most of the time. I do have occasional moments where my give a damn is busted, and I will have like food that is too high in carbs to keep me in ketosis. I don't, as I've said in previous videos, I don't believe in cheating. You can't cheat on food. It's not a relationship, it's food. But you can go off plan and make poor choices for your goals. So sometimes when I have a bad moment or a bad day, some of those things happen. But most of the time I am eating in ketosis and really haven't lost any weight. The weight is pretty much stalled. I don't know. I'm not tracking that. I have a hard time doing that. I start and then my heart isn't in it, so I just don't. And while I would like to lose weight, I guess my heart really isn't into that yet either. I just know that when I am not in ketosis, I don't feel as well. So, you know, that's the goal, is to stay in ketosis. I have a wedding to go to next weekend. Go to Indiana to my nephew, my husband's nephew's getting married, and that should be fun. I get to see all the Indiana family, his side of the family. I am taking down a lot of the things that are his or were his from before we got together for his family. For those who don't know, like, this was my second marriage and his first marriage, but we were both single for a long time before we got together. And so there's a lot of stuff that he brought into the marriage that I always considered it was his. I mean, you know, we would share things that we brought together, you know, after we were together, but you know, clearly there were things that he brought into the relationship that were his. So I think that it would be good to let his family have those things, since, you know, he was a part of their life a lot longer than he was a part of my life. I obviously have the memories of the time that we had together. We were together for almost 9 years and married for almost 6. July would have been our 6-year anniversary. So, yeah, getting his stuff together has been a bit of a, you know, it's a struggle and it's a challenge, because it's hard to look at it and know he's not coming back for it. I've done a lot of things around the house to try to make it different and more my place. I lived here before we got together, and then when we got together, I moved away from here and to be with him, and we lived together in Indiana for 4 years. And then when my mom got sick, or was diagnosed with a terminal illness, and then my parents' house burnt down, we decided to move up here sooner instead of waiting until retirement. So, and then I've been up here as of July 15th, it'll be 4 years. And he followed me up in the August after. So, so yeah, it's just, there's a lot of stuff that, you know, you're trying to handle it emotionally, and, you know, I have the fur babies to keep me company, and my daughter comes and spends time with me, and I talk to my dad all the time because we're kind of like grief buddies now. I mean, he's a year ahead of me with losing his spouse, my mom, and so he's in a different place, clearly, but he's been where I am now, which is a blessing in a, you know, in disguise, I suppose. You know, it's unfortunate that we're in this club that neither one of us wanted to be a part of. But, this was why I put off doing this video, because, you know, it's, unless you've went through it, you don't know. And then, you know, for the most part, I try to stay positive and not not go on about this kind of stuff, because this is what happens if you do. So you just keep a positive attitude and make jokes and make light of things. And, but then when you are not in the public eye, you're in your head and you're dealing with things, or trying to deal with things, and it's not easy. It's not easy. So one day at a time, and I'm doing the best I can. I'm hoping after I take a lot of his stuff down to Indiana and give it to his family, and then after we take his ashes to Lake Michigan in July, the beginning of July, after the 4th of July, maybe some of the grieving or healing will be able to begin. My husband definitely made it clear that he wanted me to keep living and be happy. I mean, and we had talked about it before he ever, I mean, he never thought he was not going to beat the cancer. So, but we always talked about it as in response to like what my dad and my mom were going through, and what my mom wanted for my dad. And, you know, and he was like in absolute agreement that, you know, he would not want me to be miserable. He would want me to keep living and be happy and enjoy life. You know, he made that very clear. So I'm doing the best I can. I think I hit a hard patch when I wrecked my car last week, or a week and a half ago. Coming home from work, a deer ran out in front of me, and the insurance company totaled it. So right now I'm driving my husband's Jeep, which is painful in a lot of ways. I mean, it's painful because it's a Jeep, and it's very not intended as a daily driver. It's intended as a toy. So it's a little herky-jerky, and it's got a lift on it, so climbing into it is kind of painful because there's no step So you're like literally pulling yourself into it. And then to look out the window and see it, you know, there's that instant, he's home, but he's not. So, haven't really decided what we're doing about the car situation. If I'm going to buy back the car, and hopefully with the money that the insurance company gives us, we'll be able to privately repair it and get it back up to speed. If not, then I'll have to get a new vehicle that's, you know, more intended as a daily driver. But thankfully summer's here, or spring's here, or whatever. I mean, summer's not officially here yet, but finally the weather gave up a little bit, and it went from winter to hot. So we feel like we kind of missed spring a little bit. So yeah, I've already had to mow the lawn twice, and it's probably due for it again, but it's rainy today. So anyway, thanks for watching, and hopefully I'll come out of this relatively soon and start doing, you know, normal videos about life in general. But I have been thinking of everyone, all my subscribers, and I did want to kind of keep you updated on what's going on, and let you know that I am thinking of you. I haven't forgotten you, and I appreciate all the kind words and support. I really do. It means a lot to me. It really, you know, it's nice to know that there's this community that cares. So I hope you're all having a wonderful Sunday, and hopefully I'll be back soon and be able to have something more interesting to talk about. Have a great day, and have a great week. Thanks for watching, and keto on.